All right, let's take you to one of the big stories we've been tracking for today, the Meyiwa trial. There's just been a postponement. You would have heard a bit earlier. Our reporter Silindelo Masikane is on standby to give us the very latest. Good morning yet again, Silindelo. We understand that Judge Tumelo has just adjourned to quickly read through a particular letter that we understand Zandile Mshololo also didn't get an opportunity to read. What exactly is the matter around this letter, or just take us through the letter itself or the author of it?
Well, we haven't been given details or confirmation in terms of the author of the letter, but my suspicions are that the letter comes from Madlala Munsami, who's on a watch brief for Tumelo. You would remember a couple of months ago, she had actually come to court wanting to participate or be able to exercise her mandate as watch brief inside court proceedings. And at the time, Madlala, who was representing accused 124, raised concerns around the purity, should I say, of the case, because we know that while these 5 men are on trial, there is a second docket 375, that points to Tumelo and those who were in the house as the ones who essentially should be in the dock with the 5 men accused. And so therefore had raised many concerns around the fact that it would prejudice the current men on trial to have Madlala Munsami inside court overseeing and listening to the evidence in court and having access to the transcripts, which is also a request that has been made in this particular letter. So we have adjourned for some time now. We're hoping it won't be too long. The judge as well saying that he wants to deal with this matter as soon as possible, saying that, the letter, Advocate Mshololo for accused 5 had not received sight of it, and he himself had not read it as well. So that is what is being dealt with right now in this current short adjournment. But you can see that the accused as well are being taken down, possibly just to, have a breather. But you can also see inside court that we have Nomalanga Meyiwa seated in the gallery. She is Senator Meyiwa's sister. She's traveled all the way from Durban in Umlazi to be able to attend court proceedings. We have not actually seen Tumelo Madlala, who is of course expected to go back into the witness box and continue with his cross-examination. But of course, I think it is because we are dealing with this particular matter of the letter first. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Madlala Munsami, because we know she has been the one on a watch brief for Tumelo. She was the one who was asked to leave the court a couple of months ago. And in my conversations with her, she has been telling me that she would be requesting to have access to come back to court. I do see counsel is making their way back inside, so that means that we will be resuming any moment from now.
All right, but what is the likelihood of perhaps resumption being with Tumelo Madlala as opposed to them perhaps tackling the matter? Because some could easily assume that now that they've read the letter, they're probably going to dissect it further there in court.
Well, that is what we're waiting for. It does seem as though the meeting with Judge Mamela in Chambers has concluded, meaning that we will get an outcome in terms of what was discussed on whether or not the author of the letter would be allowed to come back inside court and have access to transcripts. But the issues raised around Madlala Munsami's presence when she was ejected earlier from court proceedings were the fact that it could affect the purity of the trial and prejudice the current men on trial. So we'll see whether or not she will be allowed back in and whether she is actually the author of this letter.